Let's talk a little bit about, and I would like policy clarification here, because the EFF, before I open the lines, the EFF has been greatly criticized for this particular cornerstone, which you have to clear up. And this is the issue around a borderless continent, right? Yeah. So borders in itself, right? The historical context of borders was colonial. Borders were formulated so that white people can divide which particular states belong to them. We understand that. Capitalism, cheap labor, apartheid, colonialism has led to an unequal society within the African continent. So we accept that. We take away the notion of borders and we say, you know what, all Africans are the same. The problem, because of the existence of the inequalities entrenched within colonial rule within the African continent, says that those who are less or more marginalized will go to the countries that have got more. South Africa stands as one of those countries, maybe alongside Rwanda. Right? So they will come, you will have an influx of illegal foreign nationals coming here for better economic opportunities, as they would. The fear among South Africans is that the little that we already have as South Africans, now we have to lose it to illegal foreign nationals that come into this country because the EFF has said we are all Africans, so open up the borders. So how does political ideology find its expression within the reality of the lived experience of the South African? Because the South African will say to Julius, I hear you, but I can't afford to be giving an illegal foreign national a foot in my country when I'm already struggling. Afraid that we're going to have an influx of illegal foreign nationals into this country and there will be nowhere for South Africans to go.
It's an imaginary thing. Do you know that there is no fence in Lesotho? Yet the Lesotho people are not here. Actually, Kgalema is the one who used to tell us this in the youth league, that but Lesotho ba ajwa fro ba no bi halagamu elisubela ba wela mra. It's imaginary. It's the colonizers dividing us and making us to hate each other for no reason. They will never come. Faith, Gauteng is more richer than Limpopo. The Limpopo people are poor. It's the poorest province. Baka bona batho ba Limpopo. They are there. If that logic works, it doesn't have to start with a Nigerian who has to take so many flights to arrive here. If the poor are going to come, if there are no borders, and go where there are more opportunities, why about Limpopo was abandoned? Limpopo there's too many opportunities here. It's not true. No one will ever leave their home for that reason. But secondly, it's not the EFF that has always made Africans to come together. This city you are sitting in, it was built by the sweat and the hard work of all Africans, Mozambicans, Malawians, all of them. This mine that I told you that the anchor of the South African economy is mining complex. These mines that are supporting our economy have always been mined by Africans without the EFF being formed. That's why the language Fanagalo was developed, because Africans have always been together. Le khawfile tlori malemake na tlenga Fanagalo. Ke ikreile namu, ke ikreile Fanagalo, which is a clear demonstration that Africans have always been together. There've never been a point where Africans have never been together. Le tswere gate, auna fence. Unoba gate fela mo Lesotho mo Swaziland mo Mozambique mo. There's no fence. Our people are already interacting, as it were, without any influx of any people coming to take from the poor of the poor.
Our South Africans are already feeling marginalized and disenfranchised, and that's why there's this notion, and I truly don't believe South Africans are xenophobic.
Yes.
I feel like the issue and the notion of xenophobia is a very simplistic view of the issues of South Africa. South Africans are unemployed, Julius.
Yes.
That's a fact. South Africans don't have economic power. That's a fact. The very same illegal, undocumented foreign nationals are being used as truck drivers, as waiters and waitresses, and they're used as cheap labor because the employer gets away with murder. It disenfranchises the South African who is also looking for that job. I'm not saying every South African is going to want to be a truck driver, but it's certainly taking away the opportunity from that South African that wants to be that truck driver. So then how then do we start reconciling it? Because at the heart of it, it's economic issues, and we can't run away from that. So where do you reconcile and say, yeah, there are too many illegal foreign nationals here that are being used by capital as a form of cheap labor?
Well, it's imaginary. There's no such a thing that there are illegal foreigners who are waiters and waitresses. It's unscientific. It's not proven. It's not true. Secondly, these people that we are saying are taking our jobs and economic opportunities, Faith, let's line up the buses now and put them into the buses and let them go. Will still be poor. Actually, more poorer without them, especially you, the black elite, because it is you who have hired these people into your houses. So it's not true that when they leave, you'll get jobs. They do not own these people that you are talking about. They do not own the means of production. They don't own the land. They don't own the banks. They don't own the financial sector. They don't own monopoly industries, which is what should create jobs, not what you are talking about. Na ke tlo le motho wa Zimbabwe re lwela ba le security. But me and a Zimbabwean must fight over being a security guard. Why should we fight over that? Why are you not saying let's all mobilize each other? And I never said South Africans are xenophobic in all of my articulation. I'm saying this thing is imaginary because South Africans coexist with these people. They don't have a problem. But let me make the last point. Yeah, in Alexander, Dudula goes and remove those foreigners, all of them who are selling tomatoes in some open space there. They remove them completely successfully. They go. Not a single South African went to occupy that space where they were selling. As a result, Alexander people started complaining. South Africans didn't go and sell at that land. And it's just that, we say these things here, now. They don't record them so that they, during your spare time, they must say, Faith, you like reading, you like researching, you like being exposed to these things. Now, Dudula has moved people here. This is what they were doing. Let's make an observation and see what's going to happen in a week's time. If indeed these people have taken anything from South Africans, let's go and see what will happen in a week's time. Nothing will happen. If anything, those people are going to come back, they are going to be received, and our people are going to buy from those people. The nonsense I don't agree with is this thing of selling expired food. The EFF and all community leaders, it is in their hands to confront people who are selling expired food in the township, in the villages, and even in town. Because it's not only those people in the spaza shops who sell expired food. Even shops like Spa sell expired food. So the story should not be about cheap people that we undermine and we can always speak bad about them and to them. It must also, the struggle must be taken to the powers that be. That in South Africa, ShopRite, Checkers, whoever you are, you're not going to sell expired food because we're going to confront you if you do that.
Hey, yo guys, you already know my name is Usanele, and today I'm telling you guys why Julius Malema wants other African countries to come in and out of South Africa at any time. Basically meaning that there must be a border-free entrance in and out of South Africa and other African countries. In this video here, I'll be using the word foreigners to refer to our African brothers and sisters. I don't like using that word. But for the audience and you guys watching, because it's a word that people use to refer to, people who come into a country and go, you understand what I mean. So why Julius Malema wants other African countries to come to South Africa at any time? Here's why. Here is why. Julius Malema basically he doesn't just want to come a president of South Africa, but he want to be an African giant when it comes to politics. All right. How he is doing that? Number one, obviously he has taken over South African politics. It's a fact. He has taken over. At the moment, different parties, they respect Julius Malema. Obviously, we might have our own point of views, how he approaches people and stuff. That's a topic for another day. But people in politics, they respect Julius Malema. That's one. Number two, just imagine this. If you had a qualification, let's say a teaching qualification, and you are a South African watching this, right? You don't have a job in South Africa. How many African countries need English teachers out there? Just think about that. I'll name a few. Malawi does need English teachers. Okay, not Zimbabwe, but Malawi, I'll say Congo, Ethiopia, Somali, Burkina Faso, different. Even Egypt, they need English teachers. But now because we are South Africans, I'm talking now about South Africans. Passports will be an issue, visa will be an issue, blah 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 blah. We look down on these other African countries. That's why we don't want to like make exchange with them. Just imagine what I said now. Right now, you are an English teacher, and we are border-free country. You can actually pack your bags and go to Malawi, and go become an English teacher there if there is a post which is open. Obviously, it will involve different governments so they can have like a proper way of paying people. You know how this guys who this thing of teach English in China or Asia, how they work. They have a specific package that they give to people from South Africa going to Asia. So just imagine if South Africans can go to Malawi and teach English, and they have like a specific package, not too good, they're going to pay you whatever they want, but decent salary. You go to Congo, you teach whatever. You even teach your own language. I can go to Congo and teach isiZulu. I can go to Somalia and teach isiZulu. And people will take that. On the comment section, please tell me what you think about that. We're talking about Malema now. Why does he want to open borders for Africa? Here's another point that Malema is doing, or a move that Malema is doing, and most people are not even aware or talking about it. Malema has opened offices for EFF in other African countries. Maybe you watching this, you do have the EFF office in your country. Botswana for sure, Lesotho for sure, Mozambique for sure. You understand? So that's where Malema is trying to do. Obviously, it will take quite some time for all this. And please note, I'm not saying illegal foreigners have to come into South Africa. I'm not talking about that. I'm just telling you guys why Malema is saying that. Because obviously, you see, this is a pen. And if somebody is standing on this side here, and I'm standing on this side here, and someone is standing here, how we look at this pen here is different. What I'm trying to tell you is how we look at things is different. You might be watching this video and you're like, hey, when you're talking too much for foreigners and stuff, but that's not the case. I'm just telling you from where I stand, that's how I see it. I see opportunities. I see opportunities in Africa. And I'm not saying it's still early for all this process, what Malema is preaching, but governments, firstly, it will start with our governments, South African government, with other African governments. They have to show that they can work together. At the moment, we're not sure. Then it goes to politicians, then it goes to business. Business people are doing very, very well. Business people are doing well in terms of working with each other. But politicians and stuff, that's a different game, because that's the scariest game ever. Having said that, guys, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. My name is Usanele. I was just here to share my 2 cents on why I think Malema is advocating this thing of Africa has to be a border-free continent. Remember, Africa was one before, and slowly but surely borders came in and they divided us. So I don't know, what's your thoughts on the comment section? Again, I am not advocating for foreigners to come into South Africa without any passports, visas, working permits and all that. I'm sharing my 2 cents. What are your 2 cents? Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification button and go watch that video where I was talking about why I respect DJ Sbu so much. It's in this channel. Scroll down, go watch that video. You'll learn something from DJ Sbu and you'll come and say, thank you, Sanele. And I thank you. Bye. I'll see you in